Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I am going to be talking today about the book that we are releasing, The Unveiling of a Mask. We're super excited about that. It's telling me to swipe. I don't want to swipe. I haven't done a Facebook Live and a Periscope in a while, but that's going to be something. Hi, thank you so much for joining me on Periscope. That's going to be something that I'm going to get back to starting the first of the year. So it's a good time to jump right into it today. Hey, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining. So it's a good time to get in started today. The best thing for me to talk about today, of course, is my book. I know you've all have seen my post that I've been posting about the book, The Unveiling of a Mask. Talking about the pre-sale of it. The book doesn't actually launch until March the 12th, but we are selling our hardback books first before the pre-sale because I want to have them in enough time to have them at the lunch, at the official book lunch that we're going to have on March the 12th. And I would love for you all to all come. Who, if you're in Georgia or Alabama, close enough to drive here, I would love for you to come. Just let me know you're going to be there. I'm in the process of booking the venue right now, so we're super excited. And if you know me, I'm a little dramatic, so it's going to be a little bit different than most book luncheons that you have. But I'm super excited about it. But I want to talk about my book a little bit. So a lot of people have been asking me, I get DMs every day asking me, what is the book really about? Or, they think they already know me, so they know, what the book is about. They know about my life story. They know about my husband's life story. But even if you're in our family, you really don't know a lot of things that we have been through, a lot of struggles that we have been through. How did we overcome those struggles that we have been through? You may not know any of that, because that's why the title of the book is The Unveiling of a Mask, because we did not discuss a lot of things. And as some people know, once you're going through things in life, you don't really talk about it. If you're a person like I am, I'm a strong woman. I don't really, hello, how you doing? Thank y'all so much for joining me. Hi, Minister Queen. You don't really discuss what you're going through. You just focus on getting through it. So you don't have time to talk about it, because I'm that person that believes that I have a direct connection to God. I am a Christian. I have a direct connection to God, so I can talk to God myself. I don't have to tell a whole lot of other people about it. My mother was an evangelist. She passed away 2.5 years ago. She was an evangelist, so she was my person that we could go to, and she would help me pray for it. But you're just going out to a lot of different people, I would just say pray for me, because I believe God already knows. All you need to do is mention my name or who I am, and God will know what you're praying for me for, the reason you're praying for me. So I wasn't that person that went out and told everybody what we were going through. We just went through it. We just went through what we were going through. I'm just getting started, Tornado. So we just went through it, and we had to really get through it. I definitely will pray for you. We had to get through what we were going through before we can try to help someone else. So we have done that now. Not that other struggles are not going to come up, but we wrote this book, and I never even thought about writing a book. I was a person that worked for corporate, and I went to work every day, worked 12, 14 hours a day. So I never thought about writing a book. I never had time. I was thinking about, how I was going to move up in that company, how I was going to make that company more money, how I was going to, just take care of my family. I wasn't thinking about a book at all. So I had a car wreck December 17, 2013. And my husband was trying to get me to do different things to make sure that, my mind kept going. I didn't concentrate on what was going on with me, because I had two broken bones in one leg, and I had the blood clots, and I had the double pneumonia, and I had a blood clot in my leg and in my lung, and I couldn't walk for months. So he was trying to get me to do things. So he kept saying, won't you write a book about our life? And he just kept saying, anytime he didn't see me writing in that book, he would say, I haven't seen you writing in the book. I haven't seen you writing in the book. So, I would start back writing in the book. So he was my person that kept pushing me to write this book. It was not me. I didn't, I never even thought about it. And I was curious of him, because he's such a private person. He didn't want anybody to really know what was going on, but he kept pushing and kept pushing. So I did it. Then I kept, you know, being around other people, being an entrepreneur, going to all these networking events, being on social media, doing my live videos on Facebook. I was really doing 7 days a week videos on Periscope at the time. Periscope is what really put me out there. And, you know, I was just excited to be, you know, talking about it. And everybody else was saying, we're getting through with our book in 30 days. And, you know, why is it taking you so long? Get this book out there and stop saying you're going to do it. Just do it. And so I tried to put a book out there, and it only had 89 pages. And, you know, I tried to put it out there. Thank God. And I took it to a publisher, actually. And the publisher had great reviews about it. She just said it needed to be edited and all of that. But for some reason, I just wouldn't go forward with it. I just wouldn't go forward. I don't know what the reason was. Everything that I was talking to her about, you know, she was telling me that I couldn't do it. And she was giving me legitimate reasons why I couldn't do that. And so I was just, you know, I every time I got ready to go to her and put the deposit down and get it started, I would stop myself, and I didn't understand why. Hey, Ronald, thank you so much for joining. And I didn't understand why I was doing that. So the founder of our, I'm a radio talk show host. So the founder, Keisha Rivers, had told me about a book that she was writing. She told me about the publisher that she had, but I had never met her, never seen a picture of her or anything. So Keisha had a couple of events. And at this one event, this lady walked in. She had a beautiful dress on. And if anybody know me, I love people to look beautiful, and I love to look beautiful. But I was just so focused on this lady, and I was like, yeah, the dress is pretty, but why am I so focused on her, you know? So I didn't know. Hey, Travis, thank you for joining. I didn't know why I was so focused on her. And I kept watching her throughout the entire event. Like, I need to know who this is. I want to know who this lady is. And it had to be an intervention by God. I truly believe that, because I'm not a person that really goes up and talk to a lot of strangers, especially when I don't know you and I don't know anything about you or your business or anything like that. But after Keisha introduced her as her publisher. And I was like, oh, wow, let me talk to her. So I kind of talked to her for a few minutes, and I kind of, vomited on her and told her a lot of stuff. I said, well, I was very honest with her, like I am. I said, I have a publisher already. I said, but do you mind if I send you a sample of my book? And I sent her a sample of the book, and it only took a few days. The next week she called me back, and she was like, I received a sample of your book, and, I read it, and I was trying to put it down, and I couldn't put it down. She was like, I read the entire book, and I have not done that in a while. And I was like, wow. She was like, so we need to have a conversation. So we made put a date in the calendar for us to call and have a conversation. Within 11 minutes, before 15 minutes, this lady had told me everything that I wanted to get out of my book. I was in awe throughout the entire conversation. I was in tears. I'm not a very emotional person at all. I was in tears when she was telling me all of this stuff that my book was talking about. It's so much more than what we were really focused on in the book. It was talking about all this other stuff that I understood that it was talking about because I wrote the book, but the actual other publisher never said any of these things. So I'm like, wow, she's getting all of this out of there. So again, she stopped talking, and she, wanted to hear some things from me. And I told her, I said, I talked about these things to the other publisher. She said that I couldn't do these. And, after we had talked about what I wanted to get out the book, and, some people want to get money out the book. Of course I want to make money. Anybody is in business or selling a product, that's why you're doing it. You want to make money off of it, right? So I don't want to be saying I don't want to make any money. Yes, I want to make money. Yes, I do want to have a bestseller. I want to do all of that. So I won't be selling my book for a penny. I won't be selling it for $1 so I can be a bestseller. I really want to get out of the book, and what my husband really want to get out of the book is we really want to help people who have struggled in their marriages, who have struggled in their life. And it may not be the same struggles that we have been through. It could be other struggles. You take out what we've been through and insert the struggle that you're going through, and it's going to inspire and motivate you. So once I told her that, and she said, well, you know what? Within a drop of a dime, you got to go back and rewrite this book. It has to be doubled. Hey, Renal, thank you so much for joining. It has to be doubled. I said, okay, I'll have it to you next week. And some people try to sugarcoat things with you, and I'm so glad, because I'm not the sugarcoating type. I'm so glad she didn't sugarcoat that with us. She said, for what you want to get out the book, this book needs to be doubled. I said, okay. That next day, I went and I started rewriting the book. I thank God for her, because she was telling me some things maybe that we can fluff and get through to add more pages to the book. But when I began to rewrite the book, there was no fluff needed. I had missed out on so much of that book, being in somebody else's lane, listening to somebody else saying how soon they could get a book out. And maybe they wasn't even talking to me. They could have been talking to somebody else, or I know they wrote a book within this time, but yeah, I had something to tell me that as well. And I'm like, oh my God, thank God he sent this lady my way to say, you need to go back in and you need to write some more stuff in this book. It was every day that I thought about it, or I came home, me and my husband would lay down and we would talk about the book, and he would say other things that we needed to add in the book, and I would put it in my notes in my phone. The next day I would get on the computer and I'm, writing in, and, before I knew it, I had over 200 pages. More than doubled the book. Because before, remember, even with the title and the dedication page and the preface and all of that, I had 89 pages. I have more than doubled the book without adding any fluff. And if I really wanted to go back into it today, I can even add more stuff in it. Every day I think about something else I can add in it. Thank you so much. Every day I think about stuff that I can add in that book. But it is about my life story. It is about my husband's life story. I know, and thank you so much for being the first one to read it, Renal. I want to, because I know what I want to get out of it. Yes, I want to make the money. Yes, I want to sell the books. I want to be a best-selling author. That would be great. Being a first-time author, never even thought about writing a book. But what I want to do most importantly is help other people. I want to be on a stage where I'm going to be motivating people. I'm going to be inspiring them, because nowadays, hey Brenda, thank you so much for joining. Nowadays, when you think about marriages and when you think about families and when you think about relationships, it's so easy for us to pick up and walk away from it. Especially when we have problems that we think that we definitely do not understand and we cannot get over and all of that. We just want to pick up and we want to walk away from it. But this book inspires you not to always pick up and walk away from it. Maybe it's something there that you can really get over. Now, I tell people all the time, me and my spouse has been together 31 years, since he was 16, since I was 18, since he was 16. And you have to know that person has something that's worth you staying there. I'm not saying every marriage needs to stay together, because we know there are reasons for divorce and there are some good reasons why people should not stay together. But nowadays, it's so easy to just get up and walk away. It's so easy to go to an attorney's office and get a divorce. It's so easy to walk away from your families, and then you have broken families and stuff. Thank you, Renal. And I want them to know that you don't always have to do that. If that person, that husband or that wife, has those characteristics that say, you know what, I know I can work with them, but I need some help. This book is going to help you do that. It's going to be able to help you say, this person is worth it. I'm worth it. My family is worth it. My children is worth it. We talk a lot about our boys in the book and some of the things that they have gone through. And when my oldest son, who has a personality like mine, he really doesn't have so many, he doesn't have a lot of emotions. You're so welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I thank you. You have the end date is January the 31st, Brenda, to purchase your hard copy book. But when he read the book, and it took them a while to read it because they had to sign an affidavit for me to put their life events in there and to add their pictures in, even though they're adults and they're my children, we still had to get that permission from them, right? So before they did that, of course, my youngest one wanted to say, he loves to show that he's grown now. Well, I don't just want to sign, I want to read it. It's okay, I really want you to read it, but I kept asking them and they didn't want to read it. So when my oldest one began to read it, he said, Mom, I had to put the book down because tears started coming to my eyes. And me and my husband was like, You don't even have any emotions. What tears are you talking about? Do you even have tears? We don't even know, because he wasn't that child that will cry all the time. I most certainly will, Brenda. He wasn't that child that will cry all the time, even when you're spanking him, So we're like, what? So, but what he was saying was things that he remembered through his, he's thinking about how he remembered things through his eyesight. Now listening to them through, listening to them through my eyesight and through my husband's eyesight. My Facebook Live just went down, guys, so I'm trying to get it back up. 1 second. Give me 1 second, because I really want to do both of these at the same time. Just one more second. Here it comes. Okay. So when he, we're talking about my son and what he said. So when he read the book, he was thinking about, how he saw it through his eyesight. Now he's looking at it through my eyesight and through my husband's eyesight. And, when you have children, it's so much of it, so many things that you try to hide from them. You don't want them to know what's really going on, because you want to protect them, because you're their parents, and that's part of your responsibility, is to protect them. So a lot of things that happened, he didn't know. A lot of things that happened, life has happened. So he didn't remember a lot of those things. Some of it happened when he was very young. So he didn't remember those things. But so when he said that he was in tears and he had to put it down, and he began to read it later on that night because he couldn't just go back to it right then, we were amazed, and we really knew we had a good book then. If it can bring him to tears and he lived it, yes, it was a good book. Then our youngest son read, and he was like, Mom, this is a really, really good book. Now, he's the more sensitive one, like his dad. He was like, this is a really, really good book. And we're surprised because he don't ever say anything nice to anybody. He tried to be this hard guy. So, we were amazed that our family really loved it. So the next person to do a live reading on it was two of my best friends, was Shalina and Renal. And when they read it, of course, Shalina has known me since we was in middle school. So she was like, oh, you left a couple of things out. She wanted to jog my memory a little bit. And she was like, oh, I think it's really good. And when Renal read it, he's an avid reader. He reads those, big old thick books, and he may read 6 to 10 books a month. So I really wanted him to read it and really be honest. And these are people that I can give it to, and they're not worried about hurting my feelings. They're not worried about that at all. They're worried about telling me, I don't want you to put junk out there, so I'm going to be honest with you. And when he read it, he was in awe. When he read the first time, when I had 89 pages, he liked it then. But when he read it, when it had even before it was 200, I think it was like maybe 190 at that time. He really, really enjoyed it. It took him 2 days to read it, because he really wanted to listen to it as he was reading it, as he does other books, not just reading it because I wrote it. And when he sent me his review of it, I was like, oh my goodness, why is my Facebook Live keep going out? I can't stand that. Give me 1 second, guys. I have to go back and put in another one. Ugh. Give me 1 second. I apologize. It's connecting. I apologize, Periscope. I know y'all are already and doing your thing, and then I have this problem with Facebook Live, and I haven't done one for a while, so forgive me. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, Facebook Live, I apologize. We are having some issues here today, and I haven't had those. But again, I haven't done a Facebook Live in a few months, too. So I need to get back on so I can see what's really going on. So, in talking about our books, I left off on talking about the reviews of the book from our 2 sons and from 2 of my best friends. And we were really talking about, how they really, really enjoyed the book. So then when I sent it back to my publisher, she was very, very happy with the book and the amount of pages that we have and the content that's added in there. But what I really wanted to go back through the book and see is why did we, and why did I decide to go continue this relationship and go through these struggles? I wanted you to see the character of my husband from a young man up until now. Why I would want to do these things. Because sometimes we don't do things just out of commitment. We do things because we really love that person. That's why we should do them. But I had to have a reason to do that. Not just out of commitment. Not because he was my husband. Not because he was the father of my children. But, we fell in love at first sight. Hey, Christina, thank you so much for joining. We fell in love at first sight, 31 years ago. And it's been a lot of struggles through this point. And when people see us now, sometimes because all they see is the love that we have for one another and not just loving one another. It is so important for people to understand that love doesn't make you do everything that you should do or that you need to do. You have to be in love with that person. It is so much difference in being in love and loving a person. I was in love with this man, so it was easier for me to continue to go through the things that we were going through because I knew there was a light on the other side of the tunnel. I didn't know when I was going to see that light. I didn't know when that man was going to come back to me that left, but I knew the character of the person that I was with. I knew the character of my husband, and I know that I would never be able to love anyone else the way that I loved him, and I do not think that he would be able to love anyone else the way he loved me. Now, could we have gotten other people? Yes. With the self-confidence that I have and with the self-confidence that he has, of course, we knew that we could have someone else. We knew that we could fall in love with someone else. We knew that we could get married to someone else. But would it be fair to that person because we wouldn't love that person the way we loved our ex-spouse, right? So we wanted to make sure that we conveyed that in the book as well. So, and going here, because I know you have seen some at Periscope, you may not have, but on Facebook Live and on other social medias, I know you have seen where I have shared out a little bit about the book. But I want to read a synopsis of the book so that you can hear more information about the book. The synopsis of the book is for Triumph, Life Struggles. New Year's Eve, 31 years ago, a young lady fell madly in love with a young man at first sight. Having a great start in life, starting a family, raising their 2 sons, buying their first home at 21, soon the tragedies of the world began to pull them apart. Overcoming adultery, picking up the pieces of their lives and moving forward, very happy together. Stop. Only to come to such a tragedy as having to deal with a spouse that developed a mental illness. This would be the hardest test of their marriage and love. No one believing or understanding what she was dealing with at such a young age while trying to raise their 2 boys. Now, he developed this mental illness in 1998. I was still very young and he was still very young. And we had 2 kids, right? We had our first son. We got pregnant after we was married for 6 months. 2 years later, our boys are 3 years apart. We had the second son. So we were still young, still very fresh. Hey, Donald, thank you so much for joining. Very, very fresh in our marriage. Still getting to learn one another. So he developed a mental illness. This would be the hardest test of their marriage and love. No one believing or understanding that what she was dealing with at such a young age while trying to raise their 2 boys. Here we go again, y'all. Facebook, I'm telling you, they are doing something here. It is driving me insane. It really is. It's driving me insane. Because I really want to read this synopsis and I want it to go so everyone can hear it at the same time. So give me just a second. I do apologize. I hate this. I don't know what's going on with it. Periscope, you remember when we used to have these problems when you first started? Oh my goodness, I was there when it first started with Periscope. So it's coming on. Give it just a second. Okay, Facebook Live. Thank you so much for your patience, Periscope. We used to have these problems on Periscope. Now we're having these problems on Facebook Live. I do apologize. So we was at the point of the video where I was reading the synopsis of the book, so you can get a little bit more understanding of what the book is about, and really see how it can actually motivate and inspire you as well as it did me as I was writing it. It's called Triumph Life Struggles. The name of the book is The Unveiling of a Mask. New Year's Eve, 31 years ago, a young lady fell madly in love with a young man at first sight. Having a great start in life, starting a family, raising their 2 sons, soon the tragedies of the world would begin to pull them apart. Overcoming adultery, picking up the pieces of their lives and moving forward, only come to such a tragedy as to deal with the spouse that developed a mental illness. This would be the hardest test of their marriage and love. No one believing or understanding what she was dealing with at such a young age while trying to raise their 2 boys. We were both invisibly damaged. We became homeless with a home. We could have found someone else, but we were in love with one another. We were family, not allowing him to go through this illness alone. Rather, we would go through it as a family. Learn how the power of touch, love making, and great memories in the good times kept the love alive to get us through the struggles. You would think that marriage is the beginning of our life together, but our lives did not start until we learned to overcome the trials and tribulations of our struggles. You will learn how knowing your self-worth at an early age and how to love yourself before you can love anyone else. This book will touch on so much, including self-worth, self-love, family love, mental illness, triumph, and so much more. It will motivate you and inspire you through the many struggles of the world. Now, we all, as I said before, we all go through struggles. It may be something different that you're going through than what we actually went through. But what you do is you take out our struggle and you insert your struggle in there. And you let this book help you, inspire you, and motivate you to get through whatever struggle that you have. That's what this book is about. That's what we want it to do. That's what we want to do, is inspire other people, share and it was not easy to share this because we have not spoken. It's probably 3 of my friends out of all the friends that I have, or the associates that I have, or the co-workers that I've had. It's only about 3 people who truly knew that my husband had a mental illness. It's only about a handful of my actual family that knew he had a mental illness, because that's not something that we truly talked about. We strived on getting through that struggle. We strived on getting him better. We strived on making our connection stronger as a family. We strived on making sure that our boys still loved and respected him, even though he couldn't be there sometimes the way he needed to be there, the way they needed their father to be there for them. And when we think about it and we go back and we look over time, because he developed this mental illness in 1998, even though we didn't know at the time what it was. I thought we were just having, marital problems. But when you think back of all that we've gone through, when you read this book and you see that, and you see how much love that he and I still have for one another, we are more in love today than we probably were when we got that love at first sight at 16 years of age and 18 years of age. We truly are in love with one another. We love one another, but we're in love. But when you look at his sons and you see the respect that they have for him, it puts you in awe of what all that we have gone through. They love their father. They respect their father. We have 2 grandkids now, and who that we're able to be there for. But if I had just gave up on him and gave up on our relationship together, imagine how much he could have missed out on. Now, yes, he had brothers and sisters who were there for him, and you'll read about that in the book as well. But we are a family. We decided to be a family together. I decided to be his wife. I decided he was going to be the father of our 2 boys. So we needed to do this together as a family because he was worthy for us to stick with him. You read about his characteristics in the book, and you'll see why that I am so in love with him. I do being so, in awe of him, of some of the things that he do. And of course, I'm spoiled rotten. He spoils me all the time, even before he got the mental illness. So of course I would be here, but I want this book to show you that, you can get through your struggles. If that marriage is worth it, if that relationship is worth it, if that man is worth it, if that woman is worth it, this book would help motivate you and inspire you. Happy New Year to you as well, Nicholas. It will motivate you and it will inspire you to hold your marriage together. Sometimes we cannot do the easy thing. We have to do the hard thing. And it's not always easy, especially when you're dealing with, a person with a mental illness. It's going to be some rough spots there. We talk about it in the book. You'll hear about it. A person who's committed adultery. That's not easy to get over. But does that always need to end in a divorce or a broken up relationship? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I'm telling you it doesn't. But you got to be able to trust that person if you ever decide to go forward with it. Thinking about some of the other things, even though mine's had a mental illness, what if this person had a stroke? What if your spouse had a stroke? What if your spouse had cancer? How are you going to handle that? I give you inspiration and motivation on to handle those things. So I wanted to come on today because I have been posting about this book that we have read, because we are super, super excited about this book. Yes, we are first-time authors. Never thought we would be authors a day in our life. And now we've written this book that I know and I believe and I trust in God that's going to help so many people. I know it is. So yes, we are excited. We're happy about it. I can't wait to see what's coming, what 2017 has for us, what 2018, 2019, 2020 continue on. We're not stopping with 2017. I am so excited to see what this book is going to bring, how we can help other people. Yes, finances, of course, we have to have that in order to be able to do the other things that we want to do, right? We have to have that. So yes, I have to charge for the book. But I know this book is going to help so many people, and I can't wait to see and hear the reviews after you receive the book. So right now, the book is in pre-sale stage, meaning it doesn't launch until March the 12th. But I'm pre-selling hardback books now for $25 through PayPal. You have to send me a PayPal of $25 to my first and last name, KAYLMAY, at ymail.com. And in there, through family and friends, you put your name and you put pre-sale of the book. And you can put your address in there. And we would definitely make sure you have it right after the book launch. But when you're ordering hardback books, you have to order them in bulk. And you have to order them, a long time before. It's not like the softback books. So we need paperback books. I always say softback books. The paperback books, you can get them, when the launch starts. You can get them on Amazon and all those other places. But I really believe my book warrants a hard copy book. So I have a goal of selling 200 before the book launch even began. So you have until January the 31st, 2017 to order your copy. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Not only will it help you, you can share it out, because a lot of times I get books and I read the book and I get inspired by it and I get motivated by it, and I'll see someone else who may need it. And what I used to do on Periscope is doing my I'm a customer service and leadership coach as well, and I would do to support my followers, I would do book draws and give books away as well as appreciation for you following me. So, but I also give books away to family and friends who I see may need that extra pick me up. I would do that as well. So that's something else you can do with the book. But if you get that hard copy book, that's something that you want to keep, and you want to keep as a as a keepsake for yourself. So I'm hoping to see you order your book before the book launch. I would love to see you at the book launch on March the 12th. It's going to be in Smyrna, Georgia. If you are interested in coming, it's going to be a big to-do ha. If you're interested in coming, would you please let me know so I can make sure I have enough space for everyone? I would love to have a seat there for you if you decide to come. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have gotten more information out about our book that we are launching, The Unveiling of a Mask, and it's called that because no one knows the struggles that we have gone through in these 31 years. So we're telling you our life story so that we can help you. That's what's important. We have gone through that struggle. Now, there are going to be other struggles in life. There are going to be other struggles that we're going to have if we stay together, right? Because teeth and tongue fall out. So definitely two unique persons are going to have some other type of struggles in their relationship. And who wants a boring relationship, never have anything, never have any arguments, anything like that? So in life, you're going to have those. But this book is going to help you get through those. We've gotten through the majority of ours and the biggest of ours. Now we want to help other people get through theirs. So whatever your pain point is in your life, the struggle that you have gone through, you insert that where we talk about our struggles, and it's going to help motivate you, and it's going to help inspire you. Again, if you want to order a hard copy of the book, you have until January the 31st. You send a PayPal to kaylmay@ymail.com. Put in there pre-sale of the hard copy book and put your name and your address in. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and hopefully this have given you some more information about our book and have furthered your interest in the book. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.